Gosh. Oh, goodness. I don't know if we can get this better. There we go. I think that will work, and hopefully you can hear me. Sorry about all that. I'm old-fashioned. I use a webcam, and I just got me this little microphone. And it's late at night because hopefully the phone don't ring. I have a friend that calls me late at night sometimes if she gets depressed. So we'll see. But I thought I better jump on here. My boyfriend will be coming tomorrow, and he usually stays until Monday or Tuesday. And he helps me with little things, and he takes me over to the casino so I can get some exercise. And we usually eat over there, and it just gets me out of the house because most of the time I have my computer. I love a computer. I don't know. I know a lot of people use phones for everything. Like, again, I'm old-fashioned. I love my big computer. I have a big screen. I can watch my YouTube videos. I play my mind games all day, and I have big windows in the front of my house. And so I can sit and look outside at the mountains, at the weather. I can tell the weather from my palm tree and the mountains. And it's just pretty cool. Okay. I mean, I feel very blessed. Again, I'm in a park model trailer, which is perfect with ALS. I just feel so bad for you people who have big houses and 2-story houses in ALS. I can't imagine either being the caretaker or the person with ALS and having to keep up with all that. I have to thank the good Lord because he has been with me since day one of this. Everything, when I look back through my ALS, even before I got diagnosed, God was there guiding the whole thing. From my first PA doctor I seen, where they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and they put me on the CPAP, and I got worse. But by then, I'd gotten a hold of the ALS people because of my dad and my grandpa passing away from ALS. I thought, okay, it's probably time to go get my gene testing because I'd been falling down. I had a boot for both feet. I was dropping stuff. I was just having a lot of issues. And they thought I was having symmetric heart things, like little mini strokes, but it was ALS. And after they did the testing, and then when the pulmonary guy didn't know what to do between my asthma and with my lungs, the problems I was having, and with these, they had sent me to get a sleep study and put me on that CPAP when I got worse. Well, then my pulmonary was just going crazy because he couldn't figure out what was going on with me. So they sent me for a day study, and then I told the guy that they did the gene testing. I probably have ALS. And he says, no wonder you did horrible on the CPAP. We'll get you on a BiPAP ASB. I tell you, that was perfect. That is probably what saved my life, why I'm here 8 years going on 9 now with ALS. And I was on that every single night. It takes a while to get the right tubing, the right face mask to fit your face, the right pressures, but boy, you get that and you sleep like a baby at night. And it just saves your diaphragm and your muscles around your lungs so they don't have to work so hard. And what I've noticed is like a recharge your battery for me. You sleep at night with that on, and like again, then during the day, I wouldn't have to have it. I do, and like I've told people before, I have that little fan over there. You can see it. I turn it on low, if my oxygen goes down a little during the day, and that kind of keeps my oxygen up. And I just went, through kind of a bad month last month. I think I shared with you guys that are with me, and for the new people, I'm just kind of going over a little bit of this stuff, okay? So it might be a little repeat, but I was getting CO2. I think my ASV quit working in my BiPAP. So be sure they get you on a BiPAP ASV. There's a big difference. I was getting CO2 when I was sleeping. It was horrible. And I was getting 2-3 hours of sleep at night. And I was so blessed to have good respiratory people again. This is the second time the respiratory people have saved me. The guy that set my machine and put me on the BiPAP ASV was my first angel sent by God. And these Robert and my respiratory guy were the other two angels this time that got me on this NIV vent. And they set everything up for me. Perfect. I've been on that. I've been sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours a night, 9 hours a night. I have woken up, I'm on my THC gummies, and I wake up every 6 hours, okay? When I go to sleep, I take my gummies. If I take them at 9, I get woke up at 3. If I take them at 8, I get woke up at 2. I go to the bathroom. My body wakes me up if I need to go to the bathroom. And I usually will check my oxygen and my heart rate when I do that. And 2 nights ago, it was super scary because my oxygen was down in the 80s. My heart rate was clear down in the low 40s. I thought, holy crap, is tonight going to be the night? But I just put on my mask again after I went to the bathroom. I popped my meds. By upping my meds, my THC meds, I've had to up those about every year and a half. And I'm on a pretty high dose right now, but it doesn't make me high. I've never been high off of taking THC gummies, I'll be honest. And it's all about how you dose them, starting out very low. And now in the 9th year, I'm at an extremely high dose, okay? The ones I'm taking, I'll show you here. These are called Torch, and they're 5,000 mgs. Now, I was taking the other gummies and they were 100 mgs, so that's a big difference. So what I do, there's 20 of these. So what I do is I cut them in 4s. Now, I started out cutting them in 5s and 6 because I didn't know how my body would handle these because they're so much stronger. But I found out I had to cut them in 4s. And what had happened is I was getting so much phlegm. Oh my gosh, I was almost choking to death. I thought my boyfriend was going to have a fit. I had one of them coughing on my phlegm and thought I was going to choke to death right in front of him. And I was popping Mukex like they were going out of style. When I started on these Torch gummies and I went to the every 4, it dried up my saliva. I can tell, like I've told people before, when you have one gummy and you cut it up in 4 pieces, they infuse the gummy with this stuff, okay? So you may get a little more on 1/4 than you get on the second 4th, okay? And how I can judge it by when I need to take another one is when I start getting more phlegm and coughing again. Then it could be 5 hours and I'd think, okay, I need to take another one. And then boom, it's all the coughing, the saliva is gone. I'm telling you, these THC gummies, it's finding the ones and the dosage that works for you. And you start out with the 100 mg one. So there's 10 in a tin or a box, and try 2 or 3. One of the 2 or 3 is going to make you feel a whole lot better, okay? You'll notice where the other ones, it's like, nothing's really happening. And it's not that you feel high. You should feel happy, not depressed. You should feel more like a normal you, and you're not having all the cramping and pain. You're not coughing on your saliva anymore. I'm telling you, it works. And I have been around, watching on different forums for almost 8, 9 years now. And I even was on forums before that so that I would know what was going on if I did get ALS, because mine is the familiar type. I have the C9, the ALS too. And anyway, the THC gummies are the only thing in the BiPAP ASVs or the NIV vents are the two things that's going to keep you more alive. And I've had more and more people where they try them for 2 days and they quit. Try this for a month, every 6 hours. Cut that gummy in fourth if you've never taken any of this, because I never really had taken THC on anything. And I started out, and that's only 2.5, I'm up to 250 now, okay? But that's after 9 years, and I've battled cancer that I've cured with this THC. I'm trying to slow down my progression again. I mean, you progress, but very slowly. I have been at 30, 31, 32, bouncing around in there for the last 2 years, okay? On that FCV score, whatever they call it, where they find out if you can roll over in bed, all those questions. I started out at 47. And so after 9 years, I'm down to 31, 30, okay? So if you get in the 20s, that's not good, they think. So that's why I went to drastic measures. And my heart rate has been was dropping into the 50s and 40s too much. And these new meds, by upping them, has increased my heart rate where I run more in the 60s and I drop in the 50s now. So with ALS and it attacking every single thing in your body, every muscle and nerve in your body, think of this. They don't always think of all that stuff. My body, even if I start sneezing, 9 times out of 10, it's because my heart rate drops down into the 40s or 50s, and my body sneezes and it gets my heart rate up. So you can really train your body to things. I go fill up my water, then I go set on the pot and I pee. I've trained my body to do that, okay? And a lot of you may not be mobile anymore, but you can still train your body for different things. My biggest goal is to keep myself out of the hospital. And I have not, the only time I've went to the hospital in probably the last 6 years is when I got COVID and they took me by ambulance and sent me home and told me I was going to die. Okay. That's another video you can watch because I refused invasive breathing. I will not do invasive breathing. I will be on this NIV, which is non-invasive vent. When it's my time to die, I'll turn on my TBN show and put my vent on and I'll pass peacefully. Okay. I'm not going to get a feeding tube. Some days, if I can't eat well, I will eat a chocolate bar, pick on a chocolate bar all day. Okay. This necklace. I've had this forever and ever. And my boyfriend bought me a little butterfly and it gets off. So I'm always messing with it. Don't mind me. But the other thing I do too, like I said, the reason my boyfriend takes me over to the casino, I take a little bit of money. Sometimes we put $5. That's all we put in a machine. We hit 5 spins on the low bet, and we've won stuff on that. We just have fun. But I can walk and see because I don't use a cane or anything to walk. It says my walking is low, okay? So I have to be very careful. And when we go over there, there's chairs and games all around. So if I get a little wobbly or I think, wow, I'm getting out of breath, I need to rest, I can sit down anywhere at a machine and rest and play a game a while. Then I get up and walk more. And I can get a mile, 2 miles in walking like that. So when I was doing a research thing for a college with ALS, they were doing a breathing thing at home to see if they could monitor it. And she said, "What are you doing different, Bobby? Because your lungs are doing better." And I told her, my boyfriend was taking me to the casino, and she laughed. She says, "As smoky as they are," but she says, "It's helping your lungs." And so there you go. Now, here's the exciting thing why I had to get on here tonight, okay? I'm excited that I'm not dealing so much with saliva because I upped my THC gummies, okay? That was wonderful surprise that happened because, I went a little higher on my dose. But the other thing, I went and they did a pulmonary function test on me that they hadn't done for 7 years. 7 years ago, I was at the lowest normal you could be. Now, this is 7 or 8 years since I've had that test. That doctor sat there looking at that, and he said, "And you have chronic asthma?" And I said, "Well, that's what they always told me." And he says, "Plus you're 9 years in your ALS almost." I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Your lungs are still in the low normal." He says it's unbelievable. But here's the thing, everybody, that made me feel so good. But here's the thing. I had done a lot of research on YouTube for them doing those pulmonary tests on us. And I told the gal when I went there, I said, if you have ALS, you are supposed to stay there, and you're supposed to lay down, because that's where with ALS we start having issues when we're laying down sleeping because of the muscles that affect some of these, the diaphragm and that, okay? Setting up, we do much better. And I told them that, and they just kind of looked at me, the little gals doing it, and they went ahead and did it setting up. But if you lay down, they said that you can come out better off setting up, where if they lay you down, it gives a more true of how bad. Like I said, even last night, I woke up, my oxygen was down to 91 laying down. And I sleep on 2 pillows. They're 2 neck type pillows, so they're pretty high. And I sleep really good. It supports my neck and stuff. So that works pretty good. And so I'm sleeping on 2 pillows, which are probably the equivalent of 3, and I'm on this vent, and my oxygen's still dropping down, when I woke up. And so my vent is keeping me alive at night, plus my meds are too, to be honest. So these are a couple things that, everything that I tell you guys is stuff that I have done or experienced in my 9 years. And tonight was kind of an update of telling you how wonderful the event's going. And I'll have to tell you, I follow these forums, and there was some people on there when I said I was getting an NIV vent, and they come on and they said, I love my NIV vent. This NIV vents helped me. That helped me and I not get anxiety over getting this new machine after being on another one for all these years, okay? And I had a more positive outlook on it. So the forums really help you. Now, I get very upset because I've been on a couple forums where they even blocked me for so many days. If they want to block me, I'm not going to be on your site anymore. I am somebody who has hereditary ALS. I've been going off of Kathy Jordan in Florida, who smoked marijuana and lived 35 years with ALS. And people can go back and look at her site. She was already in a wheelchair, talking slow and stuff, because she started her THC much later in her progression. I had studied her before I ever got diagnosed, and the minute I pretty much knew I had ALS, I started on these gummies, and I was going to see how many years I could stay out of a wheelchair. I'm still not in a wheelchair because I started right away on these. And the thing is, we don't have that many ALS people that started on gummies from day one like I did when I got diagnosed. And so, I'm a perfect specimen. And the ALS2 gene I have, they don't know anything about it. They know it causes ALS, but they have they don't know anything about it like they do C9, or they know they have SOD1, okay? They know more about them. Now, again, for the new people that may see this, when back in 7 or 8 years ago, when they did all those tests and couldn't find anything else wrong with me, the one guy did do, when he did the CAT scan, he said something was going on in the front of my brain and it quit. And he said he'd never seen anything like that. He says, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I was on the BiPAP ASV and I was taking THC gummies, everybody. So there you go. And some of the C9 people get the dimension thing in the front of your brain. And so it stopped that too. So my 3 things: God, I pray to God, and I thank God for always guiding me on my ALS journey, because without God, I'd probably be freaking out over some of this stuff that I'm doing. But what I do works. And even on the light pressures, like I said, I have wore these for years and I can still move my fingers. Now, the other day, I was having a little bit of pain in a couple places. And I have other things that I can, let me show you here. I have these things that I can stick on and put on over these or on my feet. Let's see, that might be the ones on my feet because sometimes my ankles hurt. Here's one. See, I just take these, I wrap them, and that puts extra pressure on it, but I still have my mobility, okay? And my ankles were getting pretty weak, and so that's why I put one of these on there, and that pressure, I wore it around the house here a while, and you know what? I don't have to wear it now. So when you get cramping, get a lot of these. I go to the dollar store, I buy them. I find them on Walmart. I think Amazon has them. And these pressure things, and I always wear the compression socks. And again, I cut off the feet and use the compression on my arms. If I pick something up too heavy, then my arms ache. I put those on there. The aching goes away. And I know not to lift anything up that heavy again, okay? So I have extremely, baby, my body. I have changed my whole lifestyle since getting ALS, but I'm still mobile, okay? I'm still taking care of myself. I cook easy meals. I've got 3 lightweight pans, and I just have certain things that I cook. Um, but eating is something. Oh, something else that I got that will help people go into the bathroom. It's called Emma, EMMA, and if you get it on Walmart, it's so much cheaper. I've gotten it for $17. Today I just ordered some more for 11. We're on Amazon, it's like 50, $60. Yes, it's more pills, but it's still a lot more expensive, okay? So that's a tip today. But that Emma, I happened to get a commercial, and this is how God shows me things, okay? I'll be on my Facebook or a YouTube, and this commercial comes on, and I'll think, wow, it's supposed to make you more regular, clean out your colon better. And I know a lot of people have been end up in the hospital with blockages with their colons, okay? With crap getting stuck in there with ALS, because I follow these forums all the time because I learn from them too. And it helps me come up with solutions so that don't happen to me. And so the smooth mood would make me go a little too much. I couldn't hardly make it to the bathroom. Where this Emma makes me go more normal, like, okay? And it's supposed to work in your colon to keep your colon working better. And I just thought with ALS, I'm going to try this. And I have to say, so far, I've been very happy with it. Now, they say to take 2 at night. I've been taking 1 because I never take full amounts of anything. My body's very sensitive to stuff. So that's how I'm taking the 1, but it says take 2. Some people may need to. But that's another thing that I've added to my stuff. Now, here's another secret. Every time I add something different, or a pill, or anything, whether it's to go to the bathroom, whether it's to whatever, is I check my vitals a lot that day because I want to see how is this med affecting my vitals. How is it helping me? How is it making it worse? Okay. That's why I knew that these high THC, I'll have to say, it's just shocking because they're even holding my blood pressure better. Okay. My blood pressure isn't going clear up to 200. It's staying like around 130, and that's about normal for me. Okay. And if it gets high, it only goes to 150, 160. That's awesome because mine used to go up way over 200. My bottom one used to go up over 100. I have that vascular thing that's affected inside me that causes everything to go crazy. My heart rate hasn't been going to 100 like it was. It hasn't been dropping to 30 like it was doing, okay? It's staying around 70, 60, 50. That's kind of where it is since I went on these new meds. And I know this because I have these little things you stick on your finger, and they give you here, we'll check one right now. You stick it on your finger. Oops. And you turn it around, and we'll see what it says, and then I'll tell you. Okay, right now it tells me 96 is my oxygen, which is pretty good at night because I usually drop more. And my heart rate is 66, 67. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. I don't know if you can read here. There you can see it. See? This will tell me. And so I know that my new meds are helping me, if anything, and doing better on my blood pressure. Now it's interesting because when I started that Emma, I noticed that's when it made my blood pressure go up just a tiny bit. So there's something in that. It's a lot of natural stuff, but it did affect it. But I have blood pressure pills that I take a half of about once every 3 days or 4 days. And so the Emma's working really good to help me go to the bathroom a little better and to help me not get the blockages. So I'll take a half a blood pressure pill every so often, okay, to keep my blood. I'll just have to check it every day. I usually check it when I get up in the morning. And if it's a little higher, I check it again about an hour later, okay? If it's normal, I don't worry about it unless I feel weird later. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I wanted to kind of upgrade you on everything because last time I talked to you, I was gonna get my vent and I was just up in my meds, and I just wanted to update you how everything's going. And again, I do these so that I can help you guys. I don't do anything or tell you anything that I haven't tried or done or that hasn't helped me, okay? I'm not here to sell any products. I'm just sharing with you what has worked. Just like these IMAX gloves, I'm wearing these because somebody on the forums wore these and showed. And I thought, wow, I can still, I wanted something I could still use my fingers on, but everything was kind of weak and I was dropping stuff. I don't drop as much stuff wearing these. I sleep in them, I wear them all the time, okay? And I wear the compression socks all the time and have for the last 8 years. But you know what? It's like I haven't had the cramping. I haven't, once in a while I'll get, if I overwalk, then I get cramps. And that's what I've noticed with my ALS. For you guys that are early on ALS, if you cramp, that means you overdid your muscle. And it's different from normal people because you will lose your muscle. That's going to cause your muscle to die faster and lose it. So you don't want to cramp. And if you put pressure on where that's cramping, it'll stop that muscle from dying. That's what I've experienced. That's why I'm still going. Now, I walk different. People tell me I talk different. According to ARC, I do ARC, and lately their site has been kind of froze up. I haven't been able to do my voice thing, but last time it's like my voice is like half gone, they're saying, which I still sound. It's supposed to be, I guess, half gone, according to their stuff, their study. So that kind of helps me too to see how my progression is going because I don't go to an ALS clinic. I have my little team of doctors right here in Arizona where I live, and they pretty much let me go in and tell them what I need because they don't know what to do. We're all affected different with ALS. And I happen to be very blessed to have these wonderful doctors that when I need something, they help me get it, okay? And it probably helped that I used to be a jungle doctor and run a nonprofit mission organization earlier on in my 50s. And that's probably why I'm more open to a lot of this natural stuff because I worked with the Mayan Indians over there. So anyway, thank you, and we'll update you guys again. And I just thank you guys. I have this because it's to help people, just like Kathy Jordan did those that helped me, and that's why I've lived longer, okay? So I'm hoping you all live longer. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.